Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So, did you about go crazy watching that tea get made very slowly, waiting for the water to run out? Are you like me in that you're type A and slow living just seems completely unapproachable? I hope you will stay tuned for this very different video today. I've been debating on whether or not I wanted to present this, but I decided that it was very helpful for me to make a few changes in the way I view life, and maybe it will help you. So, for those of you who've been on my channel for a while, how long has it been since you've seen me actually wear my hair down or curl it? My hair's quite long. But when you curl it, it gets shorter and fuller. How long has it been since you've seen me wear a dress? A very long time. And as you know, I had some major oral surgery last week, and I had a lot of time where I needed to rest, to lay, and to really think. And some things came to mind, and I've made some changes in my life. They're small, but they've been super helpful. So anyone who's new to this channel or who just happened upon this video and don't know who I am, my name is Kym. I'm 63 years old. I've been retired since age 58 on medical disability. I have various health problems, psoriatic arthritis, systemic lupus, 4 back surgeries. I mean, I could go on and on, but my life changed pretty dramatically in 2019 because what I had always known was work and travel and being on call 24/7 and go, 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 go. I took care of my mother who had dementia until she passed away last June, which also left kind of a bit of a, well, not a bit, a huge void in my life because as a caregiver, so to speak, that occupied a lot of my time. And is this the cutest mug you've ever seen, y'all? Drink out of the good mug, and we're going to talk about that. So life has been kind of a series of adjustments, but just being honest, y'all, I'm very type A. I can be too task-oriented, too to-do list oriented. And associate my worth and my value with what I accomplish. And I know slow living is kind of a buzzword, and there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of beautiful, beautiful channels. I personally have never really wanted to watch them because they're too slow for me. But as I was recovering from my oral surgery and still having hiccups, I started to feel that pull that maybe the season of life I'm in now is an opportunity to change a few things and to really enjoy life and what life has to offer. So maybe you're in a busy season of life. Maybe you have children. Maybe you're caring for adult parents. Maybe it's just a busy life season with work, whatever the case may be. But you may start to feel that pull that you want to slow down a little bit. You want to be more intentional. You want to actually enjoy your life because you know what, y'all? And this is one of the things that I've realized. This is my life. In my belief system, this is my only life. And when I go to heaven, we don't really know what that's going to be like. But I can tell you one thing, it's not going to be to-do lists and YouTube videos. So you may feel on the edge of exhaustion. I can't say that's where I was, but I can say that I have a tendency to be a little too obsessed with accomplishments. I need to have, and that's one of the reasons I left all this stuff here, y'all. I didn't clean it up. Everything has to be perfect. I have to have the most perfectly decorated house. If I'm invited to an event, I have to have the best appetizers, and I have to have more than one, even though they only ask for one. that's part of a type A personality. And do I always enjoy doing those things, those accomplishments? No. What I've realized is I don't always. I need to slow down just a little bit. I've become a little bit disenchanted, if you will, with the hustle culture. So I don't have cable, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watch a wide variety. That's hard to say. I watch young folks, people with little kids, people still building their family. I watch homesteaders. I watch people that live more of a, what I'll call city life, the very different life than I do. And that can really contribute for me to that hustle culture. I need to do more. I need to be more. Instead of enjoying what I have and what I create and what is around me and what I've been blessed with, it's very easy for me, and y'all, I'm not accusing you all, I'm going to tell you how I've been feeling, to say I'm not enough, I need to do more, I should do this, I should do that, my videos aren't professional enough, I need to blah, 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 I need to get a GoPro, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, being in my head can be a bit of an experience. But if you too are having some of those feelings I just described, this video is probably just for you. I love doing research. I love learning. And my son had shared something with me. So I actually went out and did the research myself so I could be fairly confident that I was giving you the right statistics. So one of the things in our lives today, if you're of a certain age, that weren't in our lives years ago, is the cell phone. So I went to a website and I found that the average person, I have some talking notes, checks their phone every 12 minutes. So they're opening it and, looking at different sites every 12 minutes, which is about 80 times a day. And adults, now children can average less or more depending on the rules, average about 4 hours a day on their cell phone. Now, I have an iPhone, and my iPhone sends me a report each week and tells me what my weekly average is. And I have been working so hard at that because my go-to when I have a few minutes to spare, like if I'm waiting in the dentist office, spend a lot of time there. You got to pick up my phone, got to scroll. First thing I do every single morning, or did do, was I got to check my email. I need to check all my social medias, which I've gotten rid of some, and I'll talk about that a little bit. I need to make sure I've answered all my YouTube comments. Go, 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 go. Not relaxing, not enjoying, not taking time to drink out of the good cup. And y'all, this is like the cutest stinking cup ever. And it has a Snoopy in the bottom of it. It's actually a soup mug, but why not use it for tea, right? It's not just for show. I want to enjoy it. Feeling the warmth of the cup on my hand. Smelling that delicious cinnamon. Use the sprinkles. Use the good sprinkles too. So many people associate, and I did as well, associate slow living with minimalism. I'm obviously not a minimalist. Hope y'all are laughing with me. I like lots of things to look at. I like things that evoke a certain feeling, like vintage things, definitely. But also a certain aesthetic. So if you've watched some of the slow living channels, and they are really lovely. If you're trying to get sleepy, they're showing just all of this gorgeous scenery and their beautiful mugs and candles lit and all of those things. And while it's quite lovely, that may not be, number one, a lifestyle that you totally can get on board with. And number two, it just may not be realistic for you. So I want to encourage you all that these beautiful, calming images, even if it's not your life and it's not the life you exactly want, you can still incorporate some slow living principles to bring a lot of joy, a lot of calmness and a lot of peace into your life. So instead of thinking about it as a certain aesthetic or certain pretty images, or I need to buy like all this new cable knit sweaters or whatever you associate with some of the beautiful slow living channels, and I'm not being critical of any of them, think more about intentional living. So I've shared, I have a tendency to focus more on accomplishments and that sense of satisfaction, which you still have to do things, don't get me wrong. But what does my enjoyment look like along the way? How long has it been since I took, and y'all, I have bad hair, so it takes me like an hour to blow dry my hair, curl it. It is just, it's a big process. It's way more, how do I say this? Efficient, I guess is a good word, to put it up wet and go. But I could actually enjoy, taking the time to make myself look in a way that I enjoy. I was thinking about my mother's funeral. And for those of you who don't know, I actually preached my mother's funeral. I'm not a preacher, but I don't know what else to call it. Presented maybe would be a good word, but it was a faith-based funeral. I wore my hair in a ponytail, y'all, because I had so many things I wanted to do and make sure that were perfect for the actual day and the actual service, I guess you would call it, that I didn't take the time to do something nice for myself. So being type A can be good in certain ways. You get a lot done. You can be super efficient, but it's not always the most desirable or the most enjoyable type life. So what to me slow living is being present in the moment. How many of you, because I can claim this, have ever driven somewhere on autopilot, and maybe in the fall, leaves are really pretty now, y'all. I wasn't sure if we were going to have a pretty fall, but we are. But you've driven somewhere and you get there and you're so focused on the errand that you have to run or the thing that you need to buy, or remembering what was on your grocery list that you might have left at home, just saying, you have no recollection of anything that you saw along the way. I've even driven and wondered, gosh, I hope I stopped at the red lights and went at the green lights, right? Because my mind was so busy on what I needed to do, instead of taking time in the moment to enjoy the scenery, to enjoy a beautiful drive, maybe take the long way if you can squeak those minutes. And y'all, I'm not so busy, I can't do that. So where am I going to begin? And I guess the second, y'all, I'm so used to a ponytail, my hair will be like, it'll look like I combed it with an egg beater by the end of the day. Where do you start? Where have I started? And I think this is a good example of where I've started. I've shared with all of you many, many times, I love Homestead Tess's channel, because Homestead Tessie, while she accomplishes a lot, I think she really understands slow living. And one of the things that I started doing, and then I quit doing, and now I've started doing again, is when I get up in the morning, enjoying my coffee. Today I'm having some tea after my coffee, but enjoy your coffee. But I like using the oil lamps instead of like harsh overhead lighting. Now, for purposes of this video, I have the ring light on, or else we would look like this, y'all. Yeah, not so great, right? And it gets grainy and pixelated, right? So I have to put on the ring light, because I often will film before the sun is up, because that's my routine. Type 8 girl. But I do think that's a good place to start. So one of the things I did is I pulled out and serviced all of my oil lamps. Maybe that isn't something you want to do, or it's not practical for you, or you have pets that you would worry would turn them over, or you worry about them being a fire hazard. There's all kinds of reasons. Maybe get a candle. Maybe use those like LED flameless candles. Lowering the lighting, creating that peaceful environment. And I decided I wanted to start with 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night before I jumped into what's on my to-do list today. Oh my gosh, I gotta answer my email. That is partly a habit from work, but I also have realized as I've held the couch down recovering, I don't work there anymore. I'm not on call 24/7, 365. I don't have to travel constantly and fly to California every month. I don't have people on the East Coast and West Coast and in Portugal and in Canada and Lord knows where else, sometimes France, needing something from me at all hours of the day and night. And there's no rush. That email will still be there when I get done with my 10 minutes. So I kind of made a list of some things that I wanted to be more intentional with. And I think this is different for every person, depending on your lifestyle, depending on where you are in your life, what is occupying your time. I'm going to get another sip before it cools off too much. So I'm starting with small moments and I'm stretching them. So one of the things that I had started doing, hi babe, and I hope y'all laugh with me because I am laughing at myself. I would try to go out while it was still fully dark with my flashlight, do all my chicken chores, collect any eggs that might have gotten laid in the overnight, because sometimes the girls fight for one laying box and they can get cracked, right? So gotta get that done, gotta get that checked off my to-do list. It's always the number one thing, chicken chores on my to-do list. Well, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna wait until the sun is up. I don't need a flashlight. We're getting ready for daylight savings time ending. So we're gonna gain an hour here November, first Sunday in November. So I'm trying to, instead of doing that, go out once the girly girls are up, enjoy and spend some time with them. When I first got the chickens, for a very long time, I would go and sit on their little roost in the chicken run, because they'll come up. And then with the fox attack and not letting them free range as much, I haven't been spending as much quality time with my chickens, and that brings them a lot of joy and me a lot of joy as well. So that is one of the things. Another thing is cooking. Y'all, I love food, and I enjoy cooking, but sometimes I just am like, I can't believe I have to cook. What's the fastest way I can cook this? And if you think about today's world, we have instant pots. We have air fryers. We have all of these convenience items, which, while they aren't bad and they can really help in busy seasons of life, it does detract for me away from some of the enjoyment of preparing food and thinking about what food I might want to grow next year, because I had to buy it at the store because I didn't grow it. Just enjoying the smells, the feel of kneading the dough. Do I always have to use the electric bread machine so I can just dump and go? No, I don't, because I do find enjoyment in that. And I don't know where I got so sideways in, making it more about how much can I accomplish versus how much can I enjoy what I'm accomplishing. Garden is another example. I would get out there and I got to get this looking perfect, and I got to get all these weeds out because I can't show it on YouTube. Instead of just enjoying watching things grow and change, I did not enjoy my garden as much this year. And although it produced very well and I was able to preserve a lot of food, with the drought that we've had, it was more watering, more work, and I just didn't have the enjoyment. And you know what, y'all? This is my life. I only have one chance to live it, and I want to enjoy a little bit more. The example of, the tea or having your coffee in the morning. Don't turn on, your television right away. I don't watch news, I read news, but don't read your news right away, right? Don't start scrolling your phone and getting everything cleaned out. Take some time to feel the warmth of the cup, to look at the steam coming up, to smell how delicious it is. That can bring such a peace and enjoyment and an enrichment to your life that I didn't think was possible because I was so task/accomplishment focused. So what I can say is this a wholesale change, and is my channel going to be different, and I'm going to have drones and beautiful, scenery? No, probably not. Maybe a little bit more of that. Maybe a little bit more hand-done things or things done with intention than I've had through the summer. I think that it will be a good change. I don't think it will be off-putting or you'll be like, well, you've totally changed and I don't enjoy your channel, because that isn't the goal for me at all. So again, small things done consistently, I think will make a difference in me not feeling like, oh my word, I am the hustle culture, I need to stop that, because I am at the point in my life where I've worked, I've earned retirement, and while I don't just want to lay down and die, I do want to enjoy things. When I worked, I can remember I had a 40-mile one-way commute when I drove to the office, and I can remember going down the long country road that I had to go to the highway on, and I would see people, through their big picture window, especially at the holidays, with their Christmas tree on and their lovely robes, enjoying a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And I was so envious, because I would think, when is my time going to come where I'm not on the struggle bus or the hustle bus or whatever you want to call it? And what I've realized is, hello, you've arrived, Kym. So I want to enjoy it. The responsibility of caring for my parents was not a burden that I didn't enjoy. I very much enjoyed it. I cherish it. I'm so glad I had the time with them. But it did change the amount of free time I had. And it also, I did not relax, because if y'all remember my mama, she was the queen of drama, and I don't mean like she created the drama, but she had a lot of health things come up, and she would get herself into certain scenarios, and it kept me quite busy, and I never knew day to day what it was going to be, so I always felt like I had to stay ahead. Well, I'm not in that position anymore. So 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. Do what you enjoy. Treasure those times. Wear what you enjoy. And I asked myself, because I really do like this dress, is super comfortable. I think it's a Walmart dress, to be honest with you. And if money's a big thing and you don't want to spend a lot on, certain outfit that you like, thrift it, guys. Like, nothing pleases me more than to be like, yeah, I got this for $1 at the thrift store. But one of the reasons that I haven't been wearing this on my channel, I think I've worn it maybe once, is because it's not slenderizing at all. It makes me look even fluffier than I might happen to be. And, I thought it evokes, I love dresses and I love this look. and I love how it feels. And I am just going to enjoy the things that I enjoy. I also have stepped away from vintage clothing. Now, I don't wear that as much in the summer. Number one, because I don't have a lot of vintage summer things. And number two, because of gardening and chicken chores, you can ruin vintage clothing very easily with stains, tears, etc. And they don't always stand up to vigorous washing. So hopefully I can start resurrecting some of my vintage or vintage styled outfits and just have a peaceful, more slow living existence, even as a type A personality. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Like I said, it's a little bit different. It's just something that I thought, well, I'll kind of keep it to myself, and people won't be interested in that. And truthfully, some people won't be. However, it's made such a good difference in my life, and it hasn't just been since my surgery. I've been having these feelings for some months and been trying to take time to stop and smell the roses or the coffee, or however the saying goes. So if you would do me a big favor, go ahead and smash that like button. Drop me a comment below. What is your best tip for incorporating some slow living principles into your life? Oh, I'm so sorry about the hiccups. Whew. They're better, but I still have them. So I have some things I want to do today. Someone had asked me in the comments, I didn't ask, could I say your name? I responded to you about my loofah. I'm trying to leave my loofah and my birdhouse gourds to a little more ripeness. And it was 78 yesterday. It's supposed to be 77 today. We're having a warm up this week. And even though it's cool at night and they're probably not going to grow, like get bigger, I'm hoping that they will ripen a little bit more. So I do want, there's a couple ready. I do want to go ahead and get those off the vine. I want to make a treat for well, okay, it's not really a treat. I want to make a simple meal for myself. One of the things, as I've shared, when you have an oral surgery, like I can't bite into a sandwich or bite into an apple. I can cut it and put it in my mouth. So I was trying to think of, was going through my longer term pantry, some of my home canned goods. We did the protein waffles with the homemade applesauce, and it was really cute. I was telling my son about it, and he was like, can you bring me a jar of that? Why, yes, I can, because I made enough for the universe when I made it. But I do want to make some, it's a Sloppy Joe biscuit, because I have a lot of home canned Sloppy Joe. So I probably will bring you that in Saturday's video. The other thing, y'all, let me stand up here. And I hope you all, if you're noticing, my arm is getting better, but it's getting that lovely yellow color. I have eaten so much soup. And soup is one of my go-tos. So I had soup starters, like for chili and veg soup and things like that. But I ate out of my long-term pantry some canned soups that were nearing expiration date, but I was really craving some bean with bacon soup as well. Well, I'm not accustomed to eating store soup, and I do limit my salt. So one of the things I noticed was I started to retain water, which if you have high blood pressure is not a good thing because of the high sodium content of the processed soup. No criticism if you can or do eat that. So I want to make maybe even a double batch of the homemade Campbell's Mock Bean with Bacon soup. It is not my recipe. It came from Carol over at Thrifty Chic Housewife, I think is the name of her channel. She does all kinds of different canning. Now she does use a lot of alcohol in her recipes, which is not something that I would do, but I can honestly say her bean with bacon soup is amazing. So these have to be pre-soaked overnight, So that's something that I want to do today. So instead of just saying, I don't want to take the time to do all of that and can it, I'll just go online and do my Walmart delivery. No, I'm going to start doing some, I love canning, doing some more of those things that I really enjoy. So I plan to see you all on Saturday, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Now, don't expect, do not expect my hair to be down every day. I do wear it down a little bit more in the winter, but yeah, it gets in the way. And particularly if I'm making food, I always worry about getting hair in the food. It's hard enough to keep cat hair, you know, out of the kitchen type thing. So until I see you again, I hope you'll consider some slow living tips and be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.